What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Toshi today. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, all right? It is the 14th day of May today. Here we are, about 8 hours and 13 minutes left in the day, sitting here at 308 right now, consolidating over the past few days, moving sideways a little bit. You had a nice, very nice move up, man. I mean, overall, let's see, from the low that you had on May 6th to the high that you just had on May 12th, you moved up 200%, man. 200% from the low on April 7th, you're up overall 391%. At the current moment, you're up 300%, something like that. The average altcoin is up 56%, man. And you're up 300%. Good job since April 7th. If that's any inclination as to where this thing's going to go, I think that there are some speculative plays being made, and Toshi is definitely in that list of speculations right now. If we look at this thing here, Toshi. Nope, not T-O. Toshi. $327 million market cap. Very low market cap. Very decent volume. Very, very good volume on this kind of a market cap in a 24-hour basis here. Where did I put it? Right here. And we've been moving sideways. We're boring. So getting that kind of volume while we're being boring is definitely nice to see. I do expect that something like this could, over the coming days, I mean, not just over the coming days, but over the coming weeks, over the coming months, we'll likely see something that's greater than a 10x in growth, right? A 10x from here would put you at a $3.2 billion market cap. By the end of the cycle, you can see a 100x giving you like a $32 billion market cap, $35 billion market cap, or higher, right? I don't know if you see a multi-100x, right? There was a long time where Toshi was considered a multi-100xable coin. There's a very long time where that was possible. It's not really possible to be a multi-100xable coin at this level anymore. I think 100x, maybe a little bit more than that, is still on the table. It's very suitable. But from the current price, the higher up you go, the more these X's diminish, right? People who got in a year ago, 100x's were rampant. 1000x's were even possible, right? I might be holding a coin that could 1000x from my original investment. We'll see. You know what I mean? But now it's, or I guess over the past 6 months, multi-100x's have been possible. And now, over the last month, those are dwindling down to 100x's are becoming less common, a lot less common, and something to look for, right? As a maximum potential. Maximum potential wise, Toshi could definitely see a 100x. It might not. It's possible that it doesn't. It doesn't have to, but 100x, maybe not a multi-100x, but let's just see where it could go, right? From a high to a low overall, since January 26th, that high there at about 0023 to the low here on April 7th at 0002. From a high to a low, 100x here, what would that do? That'd put you at about 8 cents, right? 8 cents here. Something like that would be about 100x right there, right? I would think that Toshi either, if Toshi were to see a 100x, I don't think that you would stop here. I would think that you either complete the thought and you move all the way up to about 12 cents, which would be a cause to believe that you see something on the lines of like 147x, which is fine. 147x, nothing wrong with that. 150x, nothing wrong with that. Maybe in this kind of scenario, you do stop somewhere that's a little bit unexpected. Oftentimes, you go to, if you hit the 2272, you'll stop just above it, or if you don't stop there, you go to the 2618. But because there's kind of an interesting psychological level of resistance in between there, we could stop somewhere in between these areas, which you don't normally do, where you stop maybe at 10 cents. 10 cents is a nice psychological level. So 100x from here, I would say, is not as likely as a 120x's, or as likely as a 150x, 149x, something like that, right? Or potentially it's not as likely even as a 70x, something like that. 70x, 60x, something like that, right? You've got a lot of growth to go. Even at your minimum standards, you've got a lot of growth to go. I mean, I don't see a scenario where Toshi stops here. I mean, maybe it could. In all fairness, it could stop at 2.65 cents. That would be the absolute lowest target that I could give for it, but that's only because that performs around something average with like what the average expectation is for the average altcoin. You've been outperforming the average expectation though, so I don't think that you stop there. I really do think as this move has progressed, as we've refined this a little bit, it's becoming more clear that you do see prices that are somewhere around 5 cents, if not just above there. Between 5 and 12 cents is my guess by the end of the cycle. And here you are, not even at half a cent, bro. You're not even close. You're not even at a tenth of a cent. Crazy. Crazy stuff, right? And you probably do pull back from here, right? It's very common. Let's get into the short term stuff, okay? I don't know why I wanted to talk about all time highs, but I guess I was just feeling that. Moving up here, from a high to a low, moving all the way up to your golden ratio in this fashion, it's very common to either pull back to the 0.5, find support, or the 382 and find support. So all of those numbers, all of those growth multiples, they will get larger as the price goes lower, right? That 120x can turn into 130x or 140x. That's the difference between these little insignificant movements here. I do believe that we'll return down to about 3068, somewhere in that zone. You found a little turbulence there. I think we'll find support in that area. Probably consolidate between here and then continue to move up. It's very common in powerful moves to find support at the 0.5. But sometimes even then, you do go down to the 382 or somewhere oftentimes in between the 0.5 and the 382. That's the most common. It's just something in between these areas, not exactly at either area specifically. But with strong moves, I do anticipate a bounce off the 0.5. So that's what we're going to call for, 30683 to be the bounce zone. If you don't bounce there, the lowest I'd see you going to is 30512, but I don't think that you go there. It's possible. Don't be scared if you do, man. It's, volatility happens, but I don't think that that's what happens. Looking at the daily RSI here, you've gone all the way up to the 90 read, man. 90 came out of it. You're definitely going to consolidate, absolutely, until this RSI cools off. How far? I don't know. Maybe you go to the 60 like you did here. Maybe you bounce off the overbought zone or somewhere even above the overbought zone, something like that. But I would definitely think, my expectation would be that you do either bounce off the overbought zone or get out of it, one of the two. So we're going to be waiting. Toshi's not moving up anytime soon. It's probably going to consolidate for another week or two. Perhaps getting ready to move up on the very last week of this month, but not anytime soon. So anybody investing in Toshi, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, if we have any pumps that come over the coming days, something like this, don't get too excited. We likely don't continue. It likely will be a setup for some kind of bearish divergence or something up here. And I would very much expect before we ever get above 2.001, we will see prices that return below 307, down to 3068 or lower, okay, or lower. If we look at the 4-hour time frame, see if we can validate that. You do have bearish divergence here, high there, lower high there, that high here, higher high there. That low did not interact with the diverging point, so that would at least call for a move down to 0007. Oftentimes you do not just stop where the divergence formed, but pierce through it. So going down to 00068, I think, is very called for here. 4-hour RSI also looking kind of sad. Not too sad. I mean, overall, super bullish. But just right now, looking like it's postured to the downside. And your price kind of is rolling over, right? You can see it here. You have this nice uptrend, and now it's like you're rolling out of this uptrend. And whenever you see this kind of motion, oftentimes it does. Oftentimes, this kind of like rolling over, it does bring a rather fast move down. So don't be scared by it, right? We could talk about 00064 being the target all we want. And that's the target area. But if in 1 hour, by the time you watch this video, 1 hour comes by and we're already down there, that can be scary. That can be really scary. But that's still, I don't care how fast it is. I don't care how slow it is. This is the target areas, 3068 to 305 something, right? 512, I think, is what it was. Although I don't really know if we go below. I don't think we go below like 306 personally. I doubt that we do. But anything can happen. 1 hour time frame, also agreeing with the idea that we go to the downside. Absolutely. Volume is dying off here, and as volume dies off, that's whenever you're getting to the end of a consolidation phase, right? So here we are looking to break out one way or the other. When that volume comes in, we'll have solidified the idea, validated the breakout point there. So yeah, that's what I got for you, man. 3079 right now, 308. You went up way higher than I would have estimated. I guess technically you did go right to the golden ratio. I did think that we'd stop here a little bit longer, and we did stop. To be completely fair, from a high to a low, you pulled back 23%. But here we are now at the golden ratio. The expectation is to pull back to the 0.5, move up from there, 382, move up from there. My expectation is that your next stopping point, after you have consolidated, so your next stopping point either by the end of the month or very early June, will be something around 20137 to 20175, something in this area here. That's your next stopping point. You'll probably form some kind of bull flag here. I don't know. Let's see. Low to high there. Maybe your base of your flag is down there at about like 3065, and that would put you all the way up at the 886. Or maybe you even do go above this line, but something in this area is what I would expect at the moment. I do accept the idea that you could go a little bit above it. I don't accept that you'll see anything below it. So something around 20137 to 20175 is your next target. But for now, we're going to consolidate. For now, take a breather. It's probably going to be a week or two that you consolidate, and then we can look forward to that. Okay, that's all I got for you guys. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Good job, Toshi. And yeah, you're going to climb soon enough. A little thought here, a little food for thought, because it is tempting. It is tempting whenever you're in the wake of something like this and you hear that it's going to consolidate. Even if it's going to move up higher, you might be tempted to sell and put your money elsewhere and then come back, right? My advice, and it's not financial advice, I'm not a financial advisor, it's just my personal advice based off of my experience, is maybe just don't touch it. Maybe just let it sit there, deal with the consolidation phase. Okay, let it play out. You'll see coins that you wanted to invest in, and maybe you would have invested, maybe you wouldn't have, but you'll justify it in your head. It's going to be a justification to try to get you to sell out of here. You'll see coins that you're looking at that pump while this thing's consolidating. You'll be like, damn, I could have done this, could have done that. But it's like, dude, if you just sit there, you could do nothing and you could still make money. You know what I mean? Just sit there and do nothing and you still will make money. Will make money versus could make money is more valuable, right? It's a lot more valuable. So just be patient. Don't try and do anything dumb right here. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I think that if you wanted to sell, at this price, it's probably not the worst price to sell. But once we get below 307, that there's no more selling. That should be, if you're selling here with the intention to get back in, that's great. But if you're planning to do that when we're below 307, I think that you're just playing with fire right there. And even now, in the face of something so robust, I mean, literally, you're outperforming everything dramatically. You're up 300%. The average coin is up 56% in the same amount of time. You're outperforming everything dramatically. Why play with fire? You have a winner here, right? There's nothing wrong with sitting on your hands and just letting it ride. But if you do want to sell here, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, it's probably like one of those last call eligible moments to sell. If you can find something to put your money in for a week and it grows for a week, or it does something, you've got something that you think is about to pump or something like that, and you could take those earnings and put it back in here, that'd be a nice play. But all of that to me just sounds like greed. I think you'd be better off. Anybody would be better off just sitting on their hands, letting this thing do its work, and then if anything, whenever it pulls back, add to it. You know what I mean? But I got nothing else for you guys. Certainly don't take away from it if it pulls back. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye bye.